Well, now really good afternoon, everyone. I'm Maggie Kerwin. I'm the interim president of the College of St. Rose, and it's my pleasure to welcome you all here today for this event. We want to thank you for joining. It's a mobile global world. So please join me in welcoming Mr. Weiser and Mr. Smith.
I hope that when we end here, that you'll have some sense of the future. Phil spoke earlier today to Professor Paul Conti's class, and two different people. You know, we in the news business like to depend upon multiple sources. Two individual people independently told me that people left the room terrified. So I hope to give you a good fright.
I'm an optimist, though.
Right. What do you see as happening right now that people ought to be aware of as being changes, trends that are happening, that are on the horizon?
If you would have thought back, even 10 years ago, that you could have 1 billion people on a common platform that could have a real-time conversation about what they're eating for breakfast, that would have been unthinkable. And now we have that, you know, as a regular theme. We think about a company like Facebook, WhatsApp, and other. That level of connectivity is one element. But what's even more profound is mobile. And what's happening with mobile connectivity, the fact that we're no longer connecting to one another in this real-time way through clunky devices that have buttons you push, but we're connecting to one another through real-time devices we can hold in our hand. And when we're looking in that screen, so we're sitting and waiting for the bus or the train, we're not just looking at the screen, we're plugging into a global network of billions of other people.
Well, on that optimistic note, we're going to turn to our panel. I'm going to introduce one at a time, and they'll each give their own thoughts on some of these, and then we'll come back and Phil will talk a little more about some of his thoughts.
A couple of points that seem particularly telling to me is that there is a blurring between the technology and the human. The movie I would reference is The Matrix, but there are a couple of other ones I could, where literally
That's the right one.
the technology becomes seamless to the human. It embeds in the human. You talked about, you know, cochlear implants, Google Glass moving. I think there'll be a brain implant so that when you want to Google something, you blink your eyes twice or something, and it'll probably happen.
Well, one thing I will highlight, you had mentioned something about artificial brains, just because I like scaring people with this stuff. So there actually is a machine that is being implanted in human brains now for people that have Parkinson's. There's actually a little computer that automatically injects dopamine to keep their systems regulated, and it's implanted directly into their brain, and it's a replacement for a part of their brain. So we're already there.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me. It's a great honor for me to have this opportunity to talk about my home country, Ukraine. And if you don't mind, I'll stand up to be able to explain slides to you. Thousands of protesters from across the country came to the capital, and they lived there. And these protests were not organized by any opposition leaders, by any party, by any organizations. They were just organized by many individuals. And Facebook helped to organize it and run. And there was a slide with Google Maps, which had, for example, marked places where you can rest, where you can have shower, where you can get new clothes. You have places where people could donate food, bring clothes, get medical help. And all this ran smoothly because of the social media.
Thanks to all of them, and thanks to all of you, the Hearst Corporation, and to all the folks back there in communications, Paul Conti and others. Thank you all so very much, and please enjoy a little reception afterwards. Thanks a lot.